Welcome back to Low End University, and welcome to my first video of 2026. I knew I had to come back out with a bang because I have been staving off my cravings for like 2 years now to finally experience this performance. And it's been even harder because it's by far the highest requested performance for me to review here on the channel. And it all started when I first heard the studio version of NOFX's The Decline. Wait for it. Exactly 2 years ago. I recently ranked that video as my favorite song analysis of all time. And that video will forever be one of those I remember where I was when I first heard this song types of moments, and I'll be talking about it honestly for the rest of my life. It was the moment I knew punk rock was something special and something I really was missing out on and had overlooked my entire life. Now, aside a few short clips on Instagram here and there because I follow Fat Mike and I follow NOFX, I have never watched any live footage of this band. So today it's finally time to revisit what many of you refer to as the punk rock magnum opus, with the addition of the Denver Orchestra behind them, led by Baz on the podium. Here's NOFX's The Decline, live at Red Rocks.
So this is the band NOFX doing our song called The Decline with Baz and his orchestra. So, watch. You think this is weird before? Now
pretty big orchestra.
Hey, is that a bassoon?
Bassoon.
Yeah, fucking bassoon. Do Bad Religion have a fucking bassoon?
That's the quote of the video. Did Bad Religion have a fucking bassoon?
I'm not ready. Let's do this.
I love this.
You mean like right now? Because I can do it right now.
This is why we actually played here, because we thought recording a live record for this song here would be kind of cool. So you're all going to be on a live record.
Wow, the orchestra is dressed so beautifully.
Except for the three people.
That's the thing about seeing NOFX live. I don't even know what half the members look like. I know what Fat Mike looks like. Ooh, like this setup. I hear the theme introduced. Okay, that's what I'm excited about. You know, people ask me, do you listen to The Decline all the time? Well, after I did that video, I listened to it a lot, and I've revisited it every now and then, but it's such a long piece, there's going to be parts that are always kind of new. But I'm very curious how they took an already really rich piece musically and augmented it with the use of the orchestra. And again, as I've talked about before, I've played trumpet for 25 years. I grew up playing in symphonic band and wind ensemble all the way through college. So I'm extra excited to nerd out on what they add. But I hear that theme being introduced, sort of like an overture. Epic. Yeah, I don't even know what the drummer looks like, but I love Smelly. I love him on record. Damn. They've got a hell of a job to follow this band. And I have a feeling they're going to lean into the cool chord progressions and colorful flavors musically that NOFX won me over with. Going down to that B flat there, you can really hear it embellished in some of the horn parts. And, you know, this reminds me of a famous example of this, Metallica's S&M. They took the cool, classically tinged things that were in their music and just embellished them even further. It really drew attention to those things, like what I'm talking about right here. You can kind of hear a good example of it. When they show the trombone, next chord. stuff. Nice. Smelly looks so damn relaxed. That fast D beat? Still don't know what you call it. Forbidden beat? Hell, I don't know. Look at his face. He's just so stoic. In the pocket, right here. Next shot. Next shot. Right there. Just so effortless. And I love how Fat Mike is switching from plucking more up here. Whereas in the shot I'm paused on, he's a little bit back more toward the bridge, maybe to add a little more grit, because you know the tone change is going from to. And of course, he's using that Dan Electro here, I believe. I pulled out the P bass. I always pull out this P bass for NOFX videos. He leans toward that P bass tone. Can't really get that with my Stingray, but he's got some grit on it, which I'll dial in as we go. Cool to really see him play, though. Fat Mike pick. Cool stop. Okay, I was about to say what's really cool there is that you notice how the orchestra, I don't want to say cut out completely, but these last maybe 30 seconds, they've blended back into the background. I think that's really tasteful writing on Baz's part, not to just overcrowd the composition with tons of orchestra things. But I like here how they just rode back into the background and are being more tasteful about it so far. Cool. Trombone line. Maybe that was a French horn line. Along with the guitar part. Flat major 6. Right back to it. Kind of hear those French horn melodies back there, almost like counterpoint to Fat Mike's vocal melody. At times I was like, it's in unison, but he'll hold out a note. You'll hear the French horn back there kind of going while he's holding out a note. So it's some nice little rubs of tension there, maybe a major second interval, just for a second. So I like that creative input to take the vocal melody and just reinterpret it, maybe on French horn or something. It's adding a lot, but in a very tasteful way. The song is still so damn epic. Never gets old. That's a nice line. Cool. All right, that famous part. Ooh. Hell yeah. Get it, Baz. Okay, I'm glad they're really fixating on it because the shots of Mike playing bass are quick. I know it's not about bass. This is a whole orchestra performance. It's really cool. I love the additions here. I love that it's not this big, dense orchestral kind of all the time. You hear just little lines coming in and out. It almost sounds like only one or two people are playing sometimes, and that's just a nod to the mixing and the arranging. But people have asked, you got to see Fat Mike play. Well, I have seen him play. I've gotten linked those videos where he's maybe in an interview and he's showing the upstroke or the triplet technique thing, which I've worked on a bit. Of course, I did feature the decline at number 5 in my top 5 craziest punk videos I did about 2 years ago now. But I have seen him play like in a room, but not on stage really. So to see that incorporated while he's singing and such is fucking mind-blowing. Starting on an upstroke is something I really related with. So I think it's down and then you just kind of rub it back. Upstroke on the G string, making a 5th interval. And he does the jump back to that is the hardest part. I can play it kind of just sitting down a little bit. But to like work it into a line is really utterly impressive. Of course, to be on stage and to be singing and thinking about the vocal line. I will never get tired of complimenting bass players who can sing and do anything. It's just so damn challenging. It is easier with the Fat Mike pick. Like if I picked up like a heavier .88 Dunlop, it gets a little snagged on the string. So I think a thinner pick is the move there if you want to try playing that, at least for me. Doubling it on xylophone is beautiful. And he's having a double stroke that, which is cool. I love the idea to add that in. Helps that part cut through too. Back conducting, Baz is. Oh, yes. The orchestra there really leaned into their capability to add a soundtrackish backdrop to what's going on, because in the original piece, this is really coming from a dense punk rock, fast, heavy, really dense. You just feel the space and the air come in. Whatever that line is, it's really airy on the studio version. They come in here with this nice little soundtrackish thing. What else do you call it? That's a compliment, right? Maybe foreshadowing a vocal melody in there. That minor 4. Right back to it. Cool effects. NOFX. That is an effect on the vocals, y'all. It's yes effects here. Yes, of course they use effects. Little walk down the scale there. Band hits on the bottom A, like that. There's subtle parts I don't quite remember. Hell yeah. That's badass. I gotta shout out Baz as a conductor too. Man, he's not just standing there conducting. And at times he is on the right parts dynamically, which is weird to see him, conducting. There's a punk rock band in front of him. And it has to be such a challenge to keep that all together, because they're going from that part I was just playing and then jumping right back into it. So that had to take some intense rehearsal, and it's a nod to the musicianship involved. They're really coming out here and adding so many extra chord tones, and I love how it's mixed almost louder than the vocals at times. I think whoever mixed this was very conscious of what should be the focal point. Should the orchestra be secondary, or maybe even for a moment primary for a certain part? It kind of feels like that here. The vocals are brought down a bit. It sounds like, to my ears, well done job on that. Man, such precise picking.
I wish I had a shilling with every senseless hero.
Minor 4.
I'd buy you government, America's for sale, and you can get a good deal on, and make a healthy profit.
That's so Beatles.
Tear it apart. Start with the sun.
I'm just waiting for that part at the end now.
That a million people are smart. Smarter than one.
That damn theme. I just remember hearing that back then when I did the studio version. It was just so emotionally moving. I mean, I specifically remember in the studio version, my first video on The Decline, I remember saying this had such an orchestral, multi-suite feel to it. And it does, even without the orchestra. So this just makes perfect sense. Like when you guys told me in the comments I had to check out this version, I was like, that makes complete sense that they would have done that. It made me have so much more respect for them pursuing that type of thing, and you know how this came together. I'll talk about it at the end. I was reading a bit about it. Let's keep going. This is so well done. Yeah, it's got some grit on there.
She left her answering machine on.
Ooh.
Reading left spoken sincere. Messages don't want to ever hear. 10,000 messages.
It's that cool, like 5 of 2 secondary dominant. I think there they go to the A major. But yeah, his tone has some grit on it. You can really hear it when he's playing standalone. It's a little P bass-ish. P bass-ish, of course. I'm playing a P bass. His grit kind of shows up a little more smoother. So maybe I can pull out some of this and maybe something kind of along those lines. Either way, ooh, it's beastly there. Let me go back just a second. Don't know the notes there. Love this part.
She left her answering machine on. Reading left spoken sincere.
A major there.
Messages don't want to ever hear. 10,000 messages.
It's back to minor there. The thing about this piece is that I've heard it a few times, but all these sections, I don't quite remember the order of them. Like, I remember that section, no idea when it was going to come up. So really sitting down and remembering the order and the flow of the writing of this piece is probably the most spectacular part of it.
A million more transmissions lay victims of the laissez-faire.
I gotta learn some of these riffs. They're all really cool. Sound really fun to play. Love the strings there. I think the most one of the coolest things about this piece is the foreshadowing. Like, it keeps wanting to burst open the floodgates and come in with that trombone theme. They keep just kind of throwing bits of that. Of course, they played it actually a while ago when I was talking about it, but even in these parts here, it's like little iterations of it in bite-sized chunks. It's just making you wait for it. But what's even cooler is when you hear it for the first time, you don't know that. So when it hits at the end, it already feels familiar. So, I mean, yes, this is an 18-minute piece, epic. I have to just give a nod, now knowing the piece a bit more intimately, just the arranging is so brilliant to me. Yeah, this is the bass line I learned a while back. It's a bitch to play. Don't remember it. I find it interesting he's playing up high, but it's this triplet burst thing, and the groups of three is what really makes it tough. A lot of people think it's really that riff. I mean, I went through the whole song and was like, I know there's a tough bass riff in here. Which is the toughest one? I think it's that one. It's so awkward to pick. That little thing. Woo! Yeah, foreshadowing it here again. Ooh. Yeah, they went up to that. There's an accidental they threw in there. The trombone went, implying the third of the major five. But you don't hear that context there with the B major in the bottom, so it sounds dissonant, but it leads in the resolve so nicely to that melody in E minor. I like that little trombone really leaning into that major five, but you just hear it sort of on that dissonant note. I dig it. Right there. One more time. Perfect. They don't give it to you yet. It's brilliant writing. Nice insertion of a break here, just to get their bearings. I like how they can really draw that out live and just kind of let the audience breathe a bit. See, this is why that multi-suite orchestral thing works so well, not only on the studio recording, but when you play it live, you know, there's a whole history about movements and overtures and just how they translate with a live audience. It just really lets the audience breathe for a minute. So being my first time seeing this piece live in any format, it translates so well because of that one thing. you can just let it breathe between movements. It's so perfect. Nice bass trombone part there. Yes, there is a bass trombone. There's a regular trombone. That looks like a bass trombone to me. Sounds like it down in that range, but I think there's more than one. Maybe 2 trombones, 2 or 3. I feel like they're letting the orchestra carry this part completely, which is very smart. One more pill to kill the pain. Let's just talk about the lyrics for a second. I'm not going to go through them all. There's so many. There's like 11 verses or something. But it's just crazy to think about everything going on right now. This song hits more viscerally, lyrically, than ever. I mean, for being written in 99, to think like they were hinting at what's going on now. Then I talk about this whole thing, punk rock being so prophetic and such. I really think it's just things have always been this way. Maybe they're just more, they punch out a bit more in the age of social media. But all the little stories told in this piece to summarize one narrative, I love it. And this is one of my favorite parts of the piece. I cannot remember how the studio version sounded here. If there was a bass part, I don't see him playing, but I like that they're either way letting the orchestra really carry most of the harmonic content. Just letting the hi-hat and the dry guitar kind of go and keep it rhythmically moving. But you can hear that shift from despair musically, the really droning back-to-back minor chords. Then they throw in that C major. That's the bit of hope that comes through in the piece. It sets up a really bleak storyline referring to the real world, but there's that bit of optimism that punk rock always throws in to make it's all going to be okay. Another thing that was really powerful about hearing this piece. So let's go back and write it out. I think I've talked enough for now. Yeah, those back-to-back chords. Ooh, no, they're planing. Sorry, I was saying back-to-back minor chords. They're actually just planing. That'd be chromatic median kind of thing. That's really cool. Just, okay. But it sounds dark. How do they do that? Clarinet melody. That's so good. Didn't know when the nanas were coming, and I knew they were here. I knew it was somewhere on the back half. So rediscovering the order. Favorite part of this. So epic. Going to that D minor, that modulation there. Cello or bass there, just going right along. I'm still talking a lot. I know, I'm sorry. This is just too good. It's getting real good. I just feel the setup. me introduce you to our host. This part. Minor 4. Fuck. Yes! Hefe. I've never seen this before. Him playing a brass instrument. Was that a valve trombone? Hang on. Is that a valve trombone? Holy shit, it is. You don't see those every day. It sounded like really snappy. Ba, 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 ba. Very cool. Valve trombone. Never had the chance to play one of those. Ooh, bringing it down like this sets the stage for it to go right back up. Some nice tension in the lines there. How cool. Man. Whoa. What an arrangement. With the piece as beautiful, powerful, emotionally impactful as The Decline, I'm always still finding new things when I listen to it. But man, the orchestra layer gave me so much more of a scavenger hunt of musical beauty within and really brought out the best parts of the piece in terms of that rich composition that made me fall in love with NOFX almost immediately. Which I should say immediately, and made me realize what these musicians are really capable of. I mean, Hefe coming out and playing a valve trombone. I mean, just his playing, I could go on and on. Smelly's drumming, I talked about that earlier. Melvin, just the way they all come together. I loved the concept of putting this piece in front of an orchestra. And again, I'm going to say, now that I've heard the whole thing, this was so tastefully arranged. The orchestra came out at the right moments, didn't overstay their welcome, or convolute any of the original arrangement to a point where the piece lost its mojo. And there's a few parts where they took a few liberties and kind of burdened the weight of the composition every now and then. I thought it was so tasteful to draw attention to them. And reading the credits at the end, I knew there was an oboe back there somewhere. My daughter plays oboe, but they finally showed her at the end. Did have 2 trombones, 1 trumpet, 1 tuba, 4 violins on violin 1, 4 on 2. So it was a full orchestra outfit, blended so well. In fact, what I'm trying to say is that there were more musicians than I maybe saw or even heard. So brilliant arrangement. I didn't know I could love this piece anymore. It's so great to hear it again. Every time you hear this piece, it's like watching a favorite movie over and over again. You know, you just feel that satiety, right? In your soul. But before I filmed the video, I was curious how this whole thing came together, and I was reading a bit about how it came to fruition. Baz was just a music teacher with a degree in jazz drumming who happened to love the punk rock world and had made a few arrangements of various songs from Fat Wreck artists. But he later said, I'm just a punk rock fan who has some musical skills, and I was lucky enough for the YouTube algorithm, to pick me up and show Mike. But after listening to The Decline in the past, he immediately knew it could use the full orchestra treatment, which is so perfect because, you know, I remember saying, as I said, I remember this piece reminding me of a symphonic suite. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today for a rather long one, but kicking off 2026 with a bang, as I said. It means the world to have read all of your well wishes about my wife's surgery. Everything went great. She's recovering great. And it was kind of nice to just lay low during the holidays and not have to go anywhere. But everything went great. She enjoyed reading all of your comments. And, you know, this is the longest the channel has gone without a new video. So I've been itching to get back. As luck would have it, I got sick last week again with a terrible chest cold. I completely lost my voice, which is like a nightmare when you do this. I have to talk. So I'm a little hoarse today. I'm back at it, but come join us on Patreon if you'd like to support the channel further. It's the best way. I do full albums over there. I've done The War on Errorism. I know there will be more NOFX full album reviews soon. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do that now. Make sure you like the video. And if you want to see where all this started, I advise you to go back and watch my first blind listen to The Decline, the studio version. It's my favorite video I've ever done. I love you all. Thanks so much. We'll see you in the next one.